I remember a time I had nothing but a dream, no plan, no strategy, just ambition. I watched others succeed. I wondered why I wasn't there. I asked myself, what's missing? Then it hit me. It wasn't opportunities. It wasn't luck. It was me. I wasn't working on myself. Not really. I was chasing results, ignoring growth, ignoring who I needed to become. That's when I made a choice that changed everything. I decided to work on myself until it became my identity. Because success is not something you chase. It's something you attract. And what you attract in life is directly connected to who you are. Not what you wish for, not what you talk about, but what you practice daily. Because character isn't built in a weekend. Confidence isn't built in comfort. Discipline isn't built in convenience. They are built in repetition. Small actions, repeated consistently until they shape your identity. Success is predictable. It's not luck and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And here's the real secret. The goal is not to work on yourself once in a while. The goal is to work on yourself until growth becomes natural, until discipline feels normal, until excellence feels expected, until improvement becomes automatic. When working on yourself becomes your identity, you no longer need motivation. You become the kind of person who does what must be done. And that is where everything changes. Let's begin with a truth most people overlook. Success is not about the things you get. It's not about the car you drive, the house you live in, or the title on your business card. Those things are temporary. They are external. They can vanish in a moment. Real success, the kind that lasts, comes from inside. It comes from the person you become. Think about it. If you improve the outside without improving the inside, what happens? You achieve, but you can't sustain it. You gain, but you can't enjoy it. You rise, but you fall back down. That's why success is an inside job. It starts with your mindset. It begins with your character. It's built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Most people chase results. They set goals. They want the promotion, the money, the recognition. But results are a reflection of who you are. They are the consequence, not the cause. If you want better results, don't focus only on the goal. Focus on improving yourself. Improve your habits. Improve your mindset. Improve your discipline. Improve your knowledge. Because every external change begins internally. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Now, I want you to do something. Look at yourself closely. Ask yourself, are my daily habits leading me to the person I want to become? Am I learning every day, or am I stagnant? Am I building discipline, or am I relying on luck and motivation? Your answers are more important than any goal you write down. Most people fail not because they set the wrong goal. They fail because they haven't become the right person. Character is built in small moments. It's built in the decisions you make when no one is watching. Do you choose to work when you don't feel like it? Do you treat people with respect even when it's inconvenient? Do you push yourself to learn even when it's uncomfortable? These small decisions accumulate. They compound. And over time, they form the foundation of success. Money without character is fragile. Knowledge without discipline is wasted. Opportunity without preparation is fleeting. The real question is not, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, who do I need to become to achieve it? Do you need more patience? More focus? More resilience? More wisdom? Start there. Work on that first. Everything else will follow. Because the world doesn't reward what you know. It rewards who you are. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And not just your circle, your environment, your books, your mentors, your daily thoughts. Everything shapes who you are becoming. Let me give you a few actionable steps. 1. Daily self-reflection. Take 5 minutes at the end of each day. Ask, did I grow today? Did I improve my character? 2. Invest in yourself. Read a book. Listen to a podcast. Attend a seminar. Feed your mind daily. Knowledge compounds over time. 3. Practice discipline. Do the things you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. Small, consistent actions create habits. Habits shape your identity. 4. Surround yourself with growth. Spend time with people who challenge you to be better. Avoid negativity, laziness, and excuses. 5. Measure progress, not just results. Look at who you are becoming, not just what you have achieved. Growth is internal. Success is external. Here's the ultimate truth. Improve yourself, and your results improve. Strengthen your character, and your life strengthens. Grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and the world responds. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's intentional work on yourself every day. When you focus on becoming the right person, you no longer chase success desperately. You attract it naturally. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So start today. Work on your mindset. Work on your habits. Work on your character. And remember, the real job of success is inside you. Work on yourself until it becomes your identity. Let's be honest for a moment. Anyone can be motivated for a day. Anyone can work hard when the energy is high. Anyone can push themselves when the spotlight is on. But here's the problem. Temporary effort leads to temporary results. Short bursts of intensity will never build lasting success. If you want real transformation, you must go beyond intensity. You must cultivate identity. Think about it this way. Intensity is doing something once or twice with energy. Identity is becoming the kind of person who naturally does it every day. Motivation fades. Inspiration ebbs. Pressure disappears. But your identity is permanent. It's who you are. It's your default. When discipline, growth, and excellence are part of your identity, you no longer rely on feeling motivated. You simply do. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And identity allows you to choose what you want most automatically, without argument. Identity is not something you declare. It's something you live. It's formed in the small, repeated actions that eventually define you. You don't become disciplined in a day. You don't become focused in a week. You don't become productive in a month. You become these things through repeated choices over time. Wake up when you planned. Do the work you promised. Read, study, grow. Each action, though small, sends a signal to your subconscious. This is who I am. Eventually, your identity changes. You no longer have to think about it. You act from your new standard automatically. Success is not something you pursue, it's something you become. Let's talk about intensity for a moment. Most people start a project, a workout, or a habit with energy. They sprint. They push themselves to the limit. And then they quit. Why? Because motivation is temporary. It's emotional. It's fleeting. Intensity feels good at first, but it doesn't last. It produces short-term results. It doesn't change who you are. Identity lasts. Identity produces consistent, long-term results. Identity becomes the engine driving your life even when motivation disappears. How to build identity. So how do you do it? Step 1, decide who you want to be. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? Not the job you want, not the money you want, the person you want to be. Step 2, live like that person today. Act as if that person already exists inside of you. Make decisions that match your desired identity. Don't wait until you feel ready. Step 3, repeat daily. Repetition is the bridge between desire and identity. Every action you repeat becomes part of your default behavior. Step 4, ignore motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Don't rely on how you feel. Let your identity guide you instead. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people trying to lose weight. One relies on motivation. They go to the gym when they feel like it. The other relies on identity. They are a person who exercises daily. The first person will struggle. The first person will quit. The first person's results are temporary. The second person doesn't think about it. They are the type of person who works out. They make healthy choices without debate. They win every day by default. That is the power of identity over intensity. Your identity also affects your environment. The person you are attracts people, opportunities, and experiences that match. If you become disciplined, your circle becomes disciplined. If you become focused, your work improves. If you become growth-oriented, your life expands. Intensity alone cannot do this. Identity does. Identity changes everything. Here's the truth. Motivation is a spark. Intensity is a burst of energy. Identity is a fire that never goes out. Work on building your identity. Work on becoming the kind of person who naturally succeeds, grows, and persists. Because when identity drives your actions, success becomes inevitable. Don't chase success. Chase the person who attracts success. Ask yourself, who am I becoming through my habits? Are my actions creating the person I want to be? Am I relying on intensity or am I living from identity? Remember this, you don't need to work harder every day. You need to become the type of person who works hard naturally. When that happens, growth is effortless. Discipline is automatic. Excellence is inevitable. And that is how you turn effort into identity. Let's get something straight. Growth is not a hobby. It's not something you do when you have time, when it feels convenient, or when inspiration strikes. Growth is a way of life, a lifestyle, a commitment to becoming a better version of yourself every single day. Most people approach growth casually. They attend a seminar once. They read a book when they feel like it. They set a goal, and when it gets hard, they quit. But here's the truth. If growth isn't your default, if self-improvement isn't automatic, you're living below your potential. Let me ask you a question. What if you worked on yourself so consistently, so relentlessly, that not improving feels strange? Think about that for a moment. You get out of bed and read a few pages of a book. You reflect on your choices. You take action toward becoming a stronger, wiser, more disciplined person. You do this day after day. Eventually, you reach a point where skipping growth doesn't just feel lazy. It feels wrong. It feels unnatural. That's when you know you've truly transformed. Growth isn't optional anymore. It's who you are. It's part of your identity. Here's the thing. You don't have to transform overnight. The secret is consistency. Small, daily improvements compound over time. Read 10 pages a day. Reflect for 10 minutes at night. Practice one new skill consistently. These small actions seem insignificant at first, but they add up. They shape your habits. They shape your identity. They shape your life. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Every choice you make either builds you or erodes you. And when growth becomes your habit, not taking action feels like a step backward. Working on yourself isn't just about habits or skills. It's also about mindset. You must believe that you can improve, that you deserve growth, that each day is an opportunity to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Most people limit themselves because they think growth is hard. It is hard at first, but once it becomes part of who you are, it becomes effortless. It becomes automatic. This is why successful people read daily, journal, plan, and reflect. Not because they are motivated every day, but because they are people who grow naturally. Let me give you a practical idea. 1. Start small. Commit to one growth habit a day. 2. Be consistent. Repeat it, even when you don't feel like it. 3. Track progress. Reflection makes improvement visible. 4. Expand slowly. Add one habit at a time until growth feels normal. Eventually, you'll reach a point where skipping personal development feels like cheating yourself. That's the power of making growth a part of your identity. The major key to your better future is you. When growth becomes your default, your confidence grows naturally. Your skills improve without effort. Your opportunities expand because you're ready for them. Your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance. People will notice the change, not just in your success, but in your calm, your focus, your ability to handle challenges, and you'll realize something powerful. It's not just about getting better once in a while. It's about becoming a person who cannot imagine life without growth. Ask yourself, are my habits shaping me into someone I respect? Am I growing consistently or sporadically? Do I feel strange when I don't work on myself? If the answer is no, then it's time to raise your standard. Work on yourself every day. Read, reflect, take action, learn, improve, and do it so often that growth becomes your default. Eventually, you won't chase success. You'll attract it naturally because success follows the person who grows consistently, and growth becomes who you are. Let me ask you a question. How often do you start working on yourself only to quit before anything changes? Most people begin with good intentions. They read a book. They watch a motivational video. They make a plan. But life happens. Excuses appear. Consistency fades. And the dream of transformation slips away. Here's the truth. Real change doesn't happen by chance. It happens through practical, disciplined effort, repeated over time. And there is a simple way to make this measurable. The 4-5-day rule. Why 45 days? Science and experience show that it takes roughly 45 days of consistent effort to create a habit strong enough to become part of your identity. Less than 45 days, and you're still relying on willpower. Beyond 45 days, and your new habits start to define you. Your actions are no longer a choice, they become automatic. Think of it as a mini transformation program. Focus for 45 days, track your progress, review, and adjust. The results are remarkable. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Here's a simple approach to make growth unavoidable. Step 1. Set clear daily actions. Decide on 3-5 practical habits that will improve you the most. These should cover your mind, body, and skills. Mind. Read 20 pages a day. Journal your thoughts. Reflect on your decisions. Body. Exercise 20-30 minutes daily. Eat intentionally. Sleep well. Skills. Practice a skill for 30-60 minutes. Learn something new. Apply knowledge. Consistency is more important than intensity. Small steps repeated daily yield massive results. Step 2. Track your progress. Use a notebook, calendar, or app. Mark each day you complete your habits. Tracking creates accountability, and accountability turns effort into results. Seeing the streak grow creates momentum. Even missing a day isn't failure. It's an opportunity to learn and improve. Step 3. Review weekly. Every 7 days, review your progress. Ask, did I complete my actions consistently? What challenges did I face? What can I improve for the next week? Reflection makes growth intentional. It forces you to notice patterns, and it highlights small victories that keep you motivated. Step 4. Adjust and improve. Don't be afraid to tweak your habits. Maybe 20 pages of reading is too much. Reduce it to 10. Maybe your workout is too long, shorten it, but do it consistently. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. And the goal isn't discomfort, it's transformation. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. At the end of 45 days, you must conduct a full review. What habits became natural? What actions still feel forced? How has your mindset shifted? How has your energy, focus, and confidence improved? This review is crucial because it allows you to measure internal growth, not just external results. After 45 days, you don't just feel different, you are different. You have built momentum that can last a lifetime. The beauty of the 4-5-day practice is this. By the end, growth stops being a chore. It stops being a task on your to-do list. It becomes a part of who you are. You no longer think, I should work on myself today. You simply do it. It feels strange when you don't. And that's exactly the point. When improvement becomes natural, when discipline becomes automatic, when growth becomes part of your identity, you've transformed. Don't just work on your goals. Work on yourself until it becomes your standard. Take a moment and ask yourself, am I willing to commit to 45 days of consistent effort? Will I track my progress, reflect, and adjust? Will I push past excuses, laziness, and temporary discomfort? Growth isn't convenient. It isn't instant. It doesn't care about your mood, your feelings, or your circumstances. But it does reward those who take daily action, those who review, those who improve, those who refuse to quit. Start today. Commit to 45 days and watch as your actions begin to define your identity. Because once growth feels strange without it, you'll never go back. You'll never settle. You'll never stop becoming the person you were meant to be. If you've worked on yourself consistently, if you've built habits, fed your mind, embraced discipline, and tracked your growth, then it's time for the ultimate shift. Become the standard, not for anyone else, not for approval or recognition, but for yourself. Excellence is not something you chase. It's not an external reward. Excellence is a state of being. It is your identity. Imagine a person whose first thought every morning is, how can I grow today? They don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for inspiration. They don't ask permission. Growth is automatic. Improvement is natural. Discipline is effortless. When this becomes your default, you stop thinking about success. You stop chasing results. Success becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. Don't chase success. Become the kind of person who attracts it. It's no longer external. It's internal. It's principle-driven. It's inevitable. Here's the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people. Ordinary people wait for feelings. They wait until they feel motivated, inspired, or ready. Extraordinary people act from principle. They don't rely on emotion. They rely on identity. They work because that's who they are. They learn because that's their standard. They push through challenges because quitting isn't an option. When you operate from principle, discipline is no longer a struggle. It is your default. It is the standard you live by. How do you become this kind of person? 1. Define your standard. Decide the type of person you want to be. Not temporarily, not occasionally, permanently. Ask yourself, what habits do I practice daily? How do I respond under pressure? How do I handle setbacks? What values do I refuse to compromise? 2. Live by your standard daily. Act as if your standard is non-negotiable. Wake up early. Commit to your growth habits. Make choices that align with who you want to be. 3. Review and adjust. Reflect weekly. Ask yourself, am I living up to my standard? Are my actions shaping my identity or betraying it? Consistency ensures your standard becomes part of your identity. Here's the powerful truth. When you make growth your identity, when excellence becomes your standard, you no longer panic under pressure. You no longer seek shortcuts. You no longer rely on luck. Instead, you operate from consistency. You operate from principle. You operate from a standard that cannot be ignored. And others notice. Not because you announce it. Not because you brag about your achievements. Because your identity shines through your actions. Your excellence becomes undeniable. Your growth becomes contagious. Even when excellence is your standard, you must reflect. Growth is never truly complete. Ask yourself, did I honor my standards today? Did I act with discipline, even when I didn't feel like it? Did I push myself closer to becoming the person I aspire to be? This daily reflection ensures you never settle. It ensures that growth continues to be automatic. It ensures your identity and standard remain aligned. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Becoming the standard is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about showing up consistently. It's about letting growth guide your decisions. You will face setbacks. You will face distractions. You will feel tired. But your standard carries you forward. Your identity keeps you moving. Your principles guide your actions. And in time, your life becomes a reflection of your highest self. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? What standard do I refuse to compromise? How can I make growth automatic, effortless, and essential? Commit to living by your standard. Work on yourself daily until excellence feels normal, until growth feels strange without it, until you are the kind of person who naturally attracts success, opportunity, and respect. And remember this, the world responds to the person you are, not the person you wish to be, not the person you pretend to be, the person you have become through daily, intentional growth. When growth becomes your identity, success is no longer a goal. It is your lifestyle. It is your default. It is inevitable. And there you have it. Work on yourself until growth becomes your identity. Until excellence is not an option, it's your standard. Remember, success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. Start today. Commit to the process. And watch as your life transforms, one intentional action at a time. Because when growth becomes who you are, success becomes your lifestyle.